All right. Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rachakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all Joachim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in the gospel. And it's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad. And as always, we got the beloved Elder Tazapah as well. And the Wadi Hawabashim Awashai for blessing us with another opportunity to come forth and bring forth this news, the prophecies, which, as we said, as we say every so now and then, sometimes it's going to be weeks we have, a lot of breaking news, major things happening that shake the world up, but sometimes it's gonna be days or weeks to where it ain't too much going on. But we can't be discouraged on those days. That's the days we got to look into it, but also we got to understand that's prophecy because the Lord said that the plagues was gonna be as a woman in travail, so it will have rest periods. It's gonna be down times, so to speak. But as we know, behind the scenes, there's always something going on. It's never a downtime with the Lord, man. So we got a couple of things we'll touch on as various topics before we hop into it. Other times, you have anything?
No, not really. We can get into it.
Con. So yeah, this is a couple of things. We'll kind of update on things that's been in the news for the past couple of weeks. As we know right here, this from shtfplan.com put out yesterday, November 5th, 2025. It says the government shutdown breaks record, longest in history, and that's where we are right now. So the so-called U.S. government shutdown, it finally it's to the point that they have never been before. And it always came a point to where eventually they found a solution and made a deal. And everything was back to normal. But we hoping, according to prophecy, knowing something got to happen, we hoping they don't make a deal or it be prolonged even more, that more things start to happen. So let's read a little bit into this because as we'll get after this, it's already, and look, it's been shut down for 35 days. You see? 35 days so far. And well, according to yesterday, and it's already taking effect on the economy of America. The society around us, travel, food banks, the energy system, so on and so forth. We'll, show a couple of things in a few years. About to say something, Tazapah?
Oh no, you good, brother. This is like a form of a shock test, which was spoken about in Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Quiet weapons, yeah, silent weapons for quiet wars. They talk about shock tests where they would do certain things to see how it would affect the economy. All right. And so this shutdown is just is a variation of that. It is going to affect the economy in several ways. And you know, we know that the major way that everyone will ultimately be affected is through microchipping, all right, which Revelation the 13th chapter prophesied about. But you got it out.
I'll read a little bit into this next one just to show again. It's already with EBT. Remember that we can't forget that. Not also on top of people. Not that they lost a job, but you could say they lost a job because you ain't getting paid. What you working? There ain't no job if you
To try
working.
to hold their spot because they're living in hope. That because, like you said, this is unprecedented, which Jeremiah the 30th chapter told us in the 7th verse. We bring it out all the time. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It's going to be these times that we're in is a time of new precedents.
Yeah.
All right, or first. All right, we're in uncharted territory right now, and so people was hanging on to their job, hoping, okay, the government gonna kick in, and I'm gonna still have my spot. I ain't gonna have to go reapply or look for another job. You know, I'm hoping this shit gonna kick in because it always has.
Right.
And I said this from day one. They do this shit every year,
Mm-hmm.
but not factoring in what I just spoke about, the chipping. All right, we have to factor in now the chipping because they out of time. They got to come on and do this thing. All right, they just flat out of time. All right, I don't care how they try to cut it or how people want to look at it. He got to come on and bring this about. All right, but again, Jeremiah 30:7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble there, and that's what this is. Right. Esau got people working for free.
Mm, mm, mm.
I mean, but a nigga say, I ain't no slave. Look at you. You're not even behaving like a sovereign person because you've been enslaved in your, in the mentality. People's mentalities are enslaved. All right, they don't even have their own fucking thoughts. People run around with the programming of Babylon, and that's what they run on. That's what they raise their children on. Well, especially you Negroes, Latinos, and you Native Americans that predominantly make up the nation of Israel. All right. MK Ultra was not limited to some secret rooms and some dark sites of the CIA. MK Ultra was them experiments was taking place for that shit to be used on the public. All right. And this is what everybody is under. But right, this is the time of Jacob's trouble. It said, but he shall be saved out of it. All right. So you got it, brother.
Done. And you know what's the cool thing about contractions? You don't know which one go hit and the water gonna break with it this time. You know, and that's the difference. Like any time, like it cannot. The solution might not come. Then what? You know,
Exactly.
Like so many things can happen. Then what?
Right.
And then you can see how many people really gonna turn to the government and go to the government for help because that's all they know. But I read a little bit of this. So again, remember the EBT thing just happened. You got the government shut down. People not getting paid. Hard times here. Now you have the food banks. It says End Time Headlines, November 4th. Food banks across the country are being overwhelmed by a tsunami of hungry people. As grocery store prices have risen, that's another thing. Prices going up, and the product in the bags going down. Shrinkflation. It says as grocery store prices have risen, demand at food banks throughout the country has surged to very alarming levels. At the end of 2024, I wrote about how demand at food banks has risen to record levels all over the United States. Unfortunately, demand has continued to rise in 2025, and now the government shutdown has shifted America's hunger crisis into overdrive. I seen a video today on Instagram. It was a African lady, some lady in Africa. She had her 3 children. She said, it was funny though. She said, "Come on, children, be sure to eat y'all food. Be thankful for what y'all got. It's children starving all over America that wish they had food." But it's funny because Esau used to make those jokes about Africa. Just 99 cents. You go, feed a little poached child in Africa. Oh, we heard our parents probably said it before. Well, you better be thankful for what you got. You got children in Africa. Wish they had this meal, right? But the thing is, now you have people all over the world making jokes about Americans because this time is here. America wants just go, just be living in high horse forever. We in that time, the Lord bringing suffering, man. And it says millions of very hungry people are showing up at food banks looking for something to eat, and resources are being stretched to the limit. There is no area of the nation that is not being affected by the crisis. Everywhere, all over Babylon. It says, for example, it is being reported that food banks in Iowa are experiencing record demand during this government shutdown. And it goes into people talking. And again, all the articles in the chat, but it kind of give examples. And people being pushed to their limits, they running out before they could serve. Get they what they thought they was going. How many plays been gone by the time the morning over with? So people being stressed to their limit. So again, what if this continue? I don't know if you had something for that advertiser pop, but it's another example on if things continue.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So this from shtfplan.com, and this is November 4th. Now, this is not as far as food, but this can really bring forth hard times. If the energy, it says government shutdown surpasses 30 days, impacting energy sector and vital services. What vital mean? It's necessary. It's needful. It's needful. It's important.
Yeah, for life. I think it go back to life where you get vitamin and deal with life. So yeah, it's detrimental.
There you go. Yep, there you go.
What do you say?
Yep, it says vital means essential to life, extremely important or full of life. Necessary. It says necessary, well, meaning necessary for the continuation of life, crucial or indispensable.
Hey.
And think about it. People today, like in the ancient world, for example, in order to keep food preserved, they covered it with salt. Salt. People that they don't know how to do that, they don't even think about that. They used to just a refrigerator. Even us, refrigerator. I'm sure me. I got a deep freezer full of meat. Shit, but right. But what if the energy go out? You just go kick it all in one day. Then what?
Fuck.
Right, then what? What if the troops come? You go carry it. Yahushua said, "Don't go in the house and get nothing. Just run." So you ain't no TVs, cell phones. Where you gonna charge? You might leave with it. Where you gonna charge it? Look, people go get the chargers. Ain't no charger. Don't talk about if you got a Tesla. That's gonna be affected, and not just a Tesla. We were just talking about this at camp. It's all at your crib last night. We was talking about this, right? It's all modern vehicles that's electric. It ain't just got to be a full electric car. If it's pretty much push to start, is electric.
Oh, yeah.
But I read a little bit into it. I might just read this. The point is what it says. The longest U.S. government shutdown has caused a shortage of air traffic controllers, leading to airport ground stops and safety concerns. And it's on top of the airplanes already falling over the past couple of years. And we'll show some videos of these airports right now.
And you see how that just feeds into their narrative, but this is prophecy playing out. All right, because the prophecy say a man shall desire to go into a city and will not be able, paraphrasing. But right, they shutting down transportation. Mass transportation with this shutdown. All right. So it serves many purposes for their agenda because they don't want people flying anyway. They don't want you traveling anyway. But yeah, brother, go ahead.
That's it. It says the FAA and DOE shutdowns have led to air traffic disruptions and paused critical renewable energy initiatives. The U.S. government shutdown is also disrupting global energy and climate collaborations, potentially hindering international efforts to secure a sustainable future. With the government, it says, with the U.S. government shutdown tied at this point in time, this was a couple of days ago, but now it's past this point. So it says leaders must prioritize the well-being of citizens. And what you think the route gonna be? They're gonna prep these people in case the digital ID, and then when it come, what if the lights go out? Then when they come back home, we got immigrants here. Man, Esau could use this. What they say, never let a good crisis go to waste.
Right. Yeah. Rahm Emanuel.
Mm-hmm. It says leaders must prioritize the well-beings of citizens in a global community over political differences. It says in nearly half of the IRS workforce is furloughed due to the ongoing government shutdown. So look, I'll show a little bit of this. I'll read some of this too. This put out today, Natural News. Staff shortages spark nationwide chaos, stranding thousands of travelers. So you got people who supposed to be TSA agents, or just different federal workers across America who not getting paid, so they ain't going to work. So therefore, when you as the customer or going somewhere you need help, they ain't there to help you. Nobody there. Right? It says, I'll probably read just the first paragraph. Major airports from coast to coast, including hubs in Texas, New York, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and California, are experiencing massive disruptions, indicating a problem with the entire national aviation infrastructure. This is not a series of isolated incidents, but a systemic nationwide failure.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. This is Isaiah chapter 24, verse 10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. All right. Now, America, we know, is spiritually and prophetically Babylon. All right. When you understand the etymon of Babylon, it goes back to the Hebrew root for Baal, which means confusion. Okay. This is real quick. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. This is speaking about America. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right. And this is going into when it say, well, first of all, come down and sit in the dust. That's what we read about in Isaiah 24:10, that this place is systematically being broken down and brought into derision by none other than the Most High, Yahweh himself. All right. And that's Yahweh, Yah, he, Hawa, to be. All right. Which ultimately breaks down to he exists. He is. All right. This is all his doing. In the name of his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. All right. And that's Yah, he, Hawah Shai, deliverer. So going back to Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. This is what you're seeing. Nationwide confusion. People don't know what, from one day to the next, what's gonna happen. There is no certainty of anything here. All right. And then it's gonna get so bad that people's very life is gonna be, I forget how the scripture worded it, but your life is not going to be secure. All right. And that's one of the things which made women so boisterous, because they had security through society. All right. And that's how the Most High is going to snap them into place. He's going to take away their security. And it's not just going to be them. Everybody's going to be in danger. All right. Except for the men of the Lord. So this place is being brought down to the dust. It says, sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, because, no, there's been no war brought to the shores of America by any foreign countries. And we see that's getting ready to change. And I think the brother has a segment coming up dealing with the Venezuela situation. That's going, because that's right off the border. And then you saw what last year, maybe the year before last, Russia brought troops, such ships, destroyers, up to Cuba, which is right at the border of the U.S. These more unprecedented, all right, occurrences. All right, that was unheard of before all of this chaos that's going on right now. That was unheard of. Wouldn't even nobody to imagine to do no shit like that. All right, because America was known as, the country you don't fuck with. But now, as the prophecies exclaim, the weak are saying, I am strong. And they saying, man, to hell with America. All right. So this place is about to lose its virginity. And that status of being the virgin daughter, it's a reason they said daughter because it's the offshoot of ancient Babylon. It ain't talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about a new Babylon, and that's America. All right. So going back to Isaiah 24:10, it says the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up. What does that mean? There's a failure, a breakdown in society. There's anarchy. You've seen the movies. When shit break down, what do people do? They board up the doors and the windows. Shit getting out of control. You see, that no man may come in. Verse 11, there's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. And that's what you see in people making TikToks now. And they say it was a while, you saw this pride, just oozing, the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, just oozing with pride. People just talking shit. And, they just, like they ain't had nothing better to do in life but to get on the internet and talk shit. Now you see it's more humility now in the internet streets. The mirth of the land is gone. So I'm gonna stop right there. That's you got it out.
Nah, that's it. We'll play quick little. It ain't even videos. It's like little shorts of what's going on, and it's gonna go from the least to the greatest, just to show the effects of this airport situation. So this in Houston right now, right? It is at this Hobby, huh? Yeah, Hobby, IAH Hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And it says travelers fed up as Houston airport lines reportedly stretch over 3 hours due to TSA staff shortages.
Y'all, this shit is wrapped all the way around. These are people trying to get through the TSA in Houston, trying to get on their flights. It's wrapped all the way around, bro. Oh my God, this is crazy. Y'all, this is crazy. Like,
I hear a lot of that.
Excuse me. Sorry, pardon us. Excuse us. Excuse us. Thank you.
She just got a BBL, huh? The one at the end.
Yeah, it look like confusion. That's what that look like.
Well, I got another quick one. Let's see.
Yeah.
The one of the light skinned chick at the end in the wheelchair, like she's fresh from Brazil. Getting a BBL.
And these are all good signs that this corporation is coming to a close. Okay.
Yeah, there's another one.
We've got millions of free.
That's the sign of a a thriving advanced society is this airport. So yeah, this we third world now, man. We third world. Shit. But go ahead, brother.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200.
Now check this out. Now, if you've been to Houston, this is the last one. We'll move on. If you've been to Houston Hobby Airport, you know that's the inside, right? That's the inside part. And you know the drop-off area that you get dropped off at and you walk inside. That's what we just seen pretty much. Check this out. This is the drop-off area. This outside. This not even inside. Look at this. It says Houston Airports 3 days ago says TSA wait times may be 1 hour or longer at Hobby because fewer screening lanes are open and at Bush. So Hobby and Bush. It says the wait could be more than 3 hours. This outside. Check this out. Hey, that's the outside area where you get dropped off at to walk in. You get dropped off at just standing in line. Come on, man. That's crazy, huh? So imagine if this continued.
So yeah, you could pretty much cancel Thanksgiving. If it's like that already, Yeah, so right, these are indicators of a failing society. But yeah, that's it, brother. You got it.
Now, we can move on. I get this one real quick. The brother Yahweh, the second address 8 and 50. It says, we can start the one down. It says, second address 8 and 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And that's what we're about to see. Like it said in second address 15, it have the wickedness in the world have reached its limit. Just as the time of Noah, it became too much. It was too much. The Lord had to draw the line, and we at that same point. It's too much going on. Like it's too far on the earth, and then, and that's why Yahweh Shai said, if it was to continue, all flesh shall die. And we kind of see why. We see what that means. Like,
bro, we full of microplastics. I was just looking at Delbert Blair, man, and shit. This was in '95. He was talking about this shit, the chemtrails and stuff. It's worse than what we think. All right, these are charged particles that we inhaling, and it's throwing all our shit off with the microplastics and the heavy metals that's in them chemtrails that we breathe in. They charged and shit. It's a wonder. It's a miracle that we're functioning right now, let alone, like you say, if this was to continue. No, it can't. There has to be some divine intervention at some point soon. All right. Oh yeah. Esau didn't put everybody, he set everybody on the path to death. And Yahweh Shai, we need a savior. Period. All that old hype yourself up talk, ain't no man coming, you got to save yourself. Well, what you waiting on?
Right.
If you can save yourself, what you waiting on? And you niggas still walking around the hood talking your hot shit. Save yourself right now. Just do it. Just show me it can be done. And then come back. Save yourself and come back. And then I say, oh, that's some real shit.
Right, like King David.
But you ain't, because you can't. We need salvation. But go ahead,
Now, like King David, he'll go conquer and come back, and he'll come back with a head, a crown.
Yeah, he gonna have 4 skins.
four skins. Yeah, he gonna show it. But again, all this can lead to, and we ain't gonna get into it all you know, all of the article, but it says end time headlines. Transportation Secretary warns air travelers will face mass chaos if government shutdown drags into next week. And is it already videos of these so-called citizens who's supposed to be flying? They taking it out on the airport workers. They mad at them. Like they
mad.
You better be lucky that they even showed up. They one of the ones who just showed up
for free.
So we'll see where this go. That'll be an interesting situation if that continue. Now we'll move on, but again, as it says, this shutdown could lead to things happening worldwide, and as we know, worldwide, all nations are going digital, and everybody bringing forth in one way or another, going to force or cause there are people to start with a digital ID, and you have America. They about to start theirs. You got Mexico. A few weeks ago, they said we on board. Russia said if you get a phone in Russia, you get a phone, the digital ID go come downloaded on the app. Now you got Australia put out yesterday from the People's Voice. Australia just became the world's first search prison. Citizens forced to upload digital ID in order to use Google. So Australia in the mix. So again, he calls of all. You had someone at the top of power? You heard me? You can hear me?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Could you hear me?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was reading the scripture, my bad. I'm in Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. All right. It says, and Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. All right. And this is where we are right now. This is right before the Lord flooded the earth. And Yahweh Shai mentioned it. He said it's going to be that these times is going to be as the days of Noah. All right. And there's we seeing overwhelmingly and exceeding much wickedness, just rampant. All right. And just stupidity galore. People don't even think going back to just running on programming, not taking into consideration things, just, what I need and fuck everybody else. Get out of my way. All right, that's how people drive. That's how they live their life. Everything, me. And it's a selfish generation, and it's driven by the flesh. But this is what all the wickedness, this is where it's coming from. Babylon was set up, all right, to cater to the flesh. And so now, right, people's thoughts, the imaginations of their heart are only evil continually because, right, the thing that had been is that which shall be. There is no new thing under the sun. Everything works in cycles, all right? So here we are. The Lord said that was the first death, all right? In Noah's day, that was the first death, all right? And we cycled around to what? Now this is the second death. Mm-hmm. And the one was water. The first was water. And this latter would be by thermonuclear fire. All right. But yeah, that was it. You got it out.
Yep, and that takes us into this last portion. Speaking of thermonuclear fire, put out today, shtfplan.com. It says NATO warns the West to prepare for war with Russia. And NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is a part of the beast, along with the EU, and you have America, the whore that rides on top of it. And you have this thing with Article 5. That's what I'm thinking. Article 5, to where NATO say, if you mess with one of our members, you mess with all of us. We all gotta attack you, right? Well, in this, they saying, well, if we get done with this war with Ukraine, it ain't over with Russia and them. And of course it's not. According to prophecy, we know it's not. I read a little bit. It says, though, warnings of war continue as NATO chief Mark Rutte has claimed that confrontation with Russia won't end once the conflict with Ukraine ends. Rutte has added that NATO member states must boost military production. That's Joel. That ain't gonna worry about agriculture no more. They're gonna worry about swords. They gonna put the pruning hooks up and they gonna pick up the swords. It says confrontation with nope. It says Rutte added that NATO member states must boost military production to be ready for a prolonged standoff with Russia and others. And that's cold how they word that, because according to prophecy, it's going to be Russia and others. Ezekiel 38, if a brother want to post that real quick, Russia and others. It says, don't say Russia and others, Ezekiel 38, God. And I read this last part, it says, where is that? It says Europe and the world. Man, this code says, for the foreseeable future, Russia will remain a destabilizing force in Europe and the world. Yep. But it's somewhere I wanted, because it mentioned Iran. Oh, here you go. It says, and Russia is not alone in its efforts to undermine the global rules. As you know, it's working with China, with North Korea, with Iran and others, and that's according to prophecy. And they are increasing their defense industrial collaboration to unprecedented levels. They are preparing for long-term confrontation. And also, Elder Tazapah, you mentioned this, what's going on with Venezuela. Venezuela ain't by itself. America just ain't about to bully Trump, He just ain't about to bully Venezuela. Because Russia said, End Time Headlines, Russia is ready to supply hypersonic missiles to Venezuela. And they ain't the only ones. And also, it just came out, and China also backs Venezuela and Maduro. And remember, Article 5, if now, if America want to make a move, guess who got the right, because they helping Venezuela? China and Russia. So things can happen from this. But you got Elder Pa. You got
it. Trump got to shut it down. And this, man, America just losing. It's just his time to lose. All right. But and we bring out all the time here at Great Millstone that the average lifespan of a kingdom is 250 years. America will hit that next year. All right, so it's well overdue for a downfall. All right, and with all the immoral practices, immoral and wicked and evil practices of this place, the wine and doctrines, philosophies, the ideologies that come from this place, the abominable doctrines, ideologies, and philosophies that come forth out of this place, it's long overdue for a fall. All right. But right, it said that Russia is undermining the global authority or status quo. All right, because a new system is getting ready to be set up. All right. And Venezuela is a touchy subject right now. It's a hotbed. All right. And I was telling the brother before we started the live that Colonel Douglas McGregor was saying that Trump need to leave that alone. And I hope he don't. I hope he don't. But see, that's the beauty of it. We gotta. That Trump is is Babylon personified. If you just look at him, He is Babylon personified. When they say how is that pump brought down to the grave, it should be a picture of Trump next to that scripture. But his ego is gonna bring the U.S. to the third woe. All right. As soon as you tell him he can't do something, or he hear that he don't need to do it, his character is that he's gonna do it. His personality, you know. But yeah, we in an interesting situation, all right, because you know, with the Ukraine and the Gaza Palestinian situation, and now with Venezuela, that's three super hot points that any one of them could erupt at any time and kick off that third woe. But we know it's going to be in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, you know, which is the Middle East for those who may not know. But yeah, you got it out.
Can I read this and we can end it? Ezekiel 38 and verse 1. It says, "And a word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God," and that's Russia. And again, Russia is going to be one of is the main nation that's going to be used to take down America, but it's going to have a host of nations helping it out. They're just going to lead it though. They're going to lead the charge. And that's what we seeing play out in the earth. Everybody coming behind Putin. Everybody joining up with Putin, China, Iran, just like the scripture is going to say. It says, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against them. It says, and say, Thus saith the Lord, power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. The Lord against Russia too, because they Edomites as well. But he gonna use
Edomites. Yeah, that's Esau too. Yep, you got it.
Yep. He gonna use them to see Esau. See the Lord. Esau want to talk about black on black crime and y'all killing each other in Chicago. Y'all gonna be the reason white on Edomite crime that y'all lost power. Y'all fighting against each other. Y'all blew up your own empire, your own kingdom. Mm-hmm. It says, but the Lord talking to Russia, he says, verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And that's that Russian army. You see what they got what's their missiles?
Russia, they got the S-300. They got the Moab. But they have an array of hypersonic, close range missiles and all of that.
That's the one thing about that Moab. I think that's the one. But anyway, they flaunt their stuff. Matter of fact, this example. Well, look, we read
the one Venezuela have that they sent to Venezuela. I believe that's the S-300 the missile batteries. But they gave them hypersonic. They got the hypersonic missiles in Venezuela. I want to say the S-300, but I'm not sure 100 on that. But yeah, you got it.
Mm-hmm. So Russia has been arming up, and not just them. It says verse 5 in Persia, which is the modern day.
The brother say the Satan too, Salakia. The brother GMF lift up your heads.
Okay, that's Daniela. That's Daniela.
Yeah, Shalom Daniela. Yeah, that's Satan 2, Satan 1, I guess. They got them.
The water, yep. But that's all a part of prophecy. They supposed to be showing their little stuff off. And look, not just them, verse 5, Persia, that's the modern day Iran. It says Ethiopia and Libya. You got those African countries joining up with Russia. You had the picture with Putin and all the leaders of the different African nations, so to speak, and Putin was in the middle. Putin was in the middle. Everybody was behind him. Like, but Chad, that's what's going on. You got BRICS. Everybody separating themselves from America and a dollar and going to who? Russia. It says Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomar and the North Quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. Turkey gonna hop in there too. And look, Turkey are part of the beast. They go separate from the beast. And it says, and be thou prepared, talking to Russia, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. So look, you get ready, you and the Russian army, your people. It says, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So when we read this, Russia is ready to supply hypersonic missiles to Venezuela. That's literally Bible prophecy, because it says, prepare yourself and prepare them, everybody who gonna join you or who coming to be assembled unto you, and you gonna guard them. And you go guard them. So the Lord word playing out. That's it though, Elder Taza Paul.
Amen. That's it.
That's it.
But yeah, it's interesting times, definitely. Man, Lord willing, we'll be going home soon. That microchip is on the way. But I read this here in Job chapter 12 and 16. All right, with him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. All right, so the Heavenly Father is going to use the Edomites to take themselves out. All right, and that's what took us down in fighting, which allowed the Edomites to get a foothold and come up, But that's what's going to take them down in fighting, and it's even going on among the upper echelons of Edom. But you're right, the deceived and the deceiver are the most high. All right. But that was it. You want to take it on that?
Hey, with that, Lord willing, this lesson, this information was useful and also edifying. Until next time, once again, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak and the Water Akim for posting the precepts, at the Water for tuning in. And with that, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.